Hey everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting and my Sunday live stream. So we'll see if my internet works a little better. It was kind of acting up a while ago when I was on with Comic Books NYC on Direct Edition Squad. I changed back to the other camera, but you'll notice it flickers depending on how close I am to it. That's not the light flickering. That's the stupid camera, and I got to figure out what's going on with it. It's like light adjusting, and I tried to turn that off, and it didn't want to turn it off. And anyway, so I'm playing with the camera. Hey, I love signed comics. Thanks for joining us. So, as always on one of these Sunday night things, this is just meant to be a little bit of a discussion. If anyone wants the link to come in, you are more than welcome to. But tonight I thought we would just talk a little bit. I was gone last week when all the news came out that Tom and CBSI were kind of splitting apart, and Tom was going to go with the Key Collector list, but he was still only going to do 10 books instead of 20, which is what Key Collector does. And CBSI was going to do their own thing. And I was just curious what everybody thought of that. Hey, Cameron D. Thanks for joining me. Should shout out Comic Books NYC. He's already in the chat. My buddy from Gotham City Chronicles. You know what? I can send you a link. Hang on a second. Let me remember how to do that on here. Invite people. There is the link. So, and I got the mail open, so I can just reply to the message you just sent me. And paste. And send. So yeah, you can hop in if you want. So anybody else wants in, just let me know, and we can go from there. So lost my train of thought. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we wanted to do with what the group wanted to do with the list. Perry is lurking in the bushes. No surprise. What's going on, Perry? So how's the swamp ass? You know, if it was as hot where you are today as it was here, and you wore a blazer for any part of it, you're a crazy person. It was gross here today. As you'll notice, I didn't even drink in like regular beer today. I went to the Mike's Hard Lemonade because it was too hot for regular beer. So anyway, the lists are splitting apart. Tom's doing the Key Collector thing. CBSI is going to keep doing their own thing. I enjoy the swamp ass. Makes it easy to slide. And if I care, that might be too much information, Perry. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that is TMI for me. And so yeah, I'm just gonna say, hey, Unruly Simeon, what's going on? Forgot again where I was at. Oh, anyway, talking about the list. So technically we got 6 months before we would get to a week that there's Mr. NYC. I'm gonna add real quick. Hey, Kavi, hey. Your net can handle the two of us.
It's just, it's you and I on Sunday right now. Wait.
That appears to be what we're doing. So, and I already got Unruly saying, vote stay with Tom. And I've heard that from several people. I will say there is some interesting things as I've investigated what the Key Collector does for their top 10 compared to CBSI that I think as a group we should just think about. I have the feeling that this community, in terms of just the people who watch my channel, the YouTube community, is going to be way more interested in what Tom does than what the website is doing. Just because that's who they follow. And regardless of how the lists are put together or anything like that, they're just way more likely to watch Tom's list and therefore be up on those books. Because let's be honest, I didn't know what CBSI was until Tom started talking about it.
Same. I agree with that. Can you hear me, by the way? I just want to... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I feel like you have lag, though.
Do I have lag?
Or like you're talking and then your mouth is moving. It's like it's not in time. I wonder if that's my internet or your internet.
It's probably mine. What about now? Better?
That was better.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, look, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like personally, I really had no interest in the CBSI top 10 list until I started following the weekly video that Comic Tom put out. I think I was one of the early subscribers of Comic Tom, like sub 1,000. Like before they even had 1,000 subs, I was a subscriber at some point, but I don't remember
I was
the exact specifics.
300.
Were you at 300?
It was like 250 something.
I was probably somewhere between 500 and 600, but I don't remember. I mean,
yeah, I was
making that up.
200 something when I subbed.
Yeah.
No, he was like super low. It was like 200 something. I remember for sure because he was like one of the first channels I found, and then he was like. I remember thinking when he got to like 600, like really quick, I'm like, wow, his channels get huge. And then it just blew up from there.
You know what? Like
I subbed to him long before he did the list.
There was a video that they did about PGX or something like that, like some sort of old video about PGX or CG, some sort of like CGC behind the scenes thing or whatever. And I got because I think at the time I was like looking for CGC unboxing videos and somehow stumbled upon that old video of theirs, and that's how I found their channel. And I don't think they were even doing the CBSI top 10 list at the time. Like they moved to, I think that came later, right?
No, I didn't start to like last July.
Yeah.
That was like late July when I started doing that list. So, hey, Hialeah. Hey, Bueller. Hey, Comics for Blame. What's going on? Bueller's in the chat. I'd be interested to know what Bueller thinks about this. And Cameron D is still here. Perry, of course, being silly, but Comics for Blame says
it's not a bad idea.
Do 2 different shows. That'll get yeah, I'm not gonna have. That's too much.
That'll get you to 1,000 subscribers pretty quickly.
I mean, I have a hard time getting one out. Yeah. Thank you, Hialeah, on the congrats for 400. That was all thanks to Rod today. I picked up like 12 or 13 subscribers today when Rod gave me a shout out.
Very nice.
So that pushed me over the 400 mark. Bueller says he knows the entire story.
I'm sure he does.
I'm not worried about what went down between Tom and CBSI. I'm just more like wanting to, because I see this as my look back as a service to the community.
Right.
And I want to make sure that I'm breaking down the list that people care about.
When you think
obviously that's probably going to be with Tom.
Well, when you think about it, you have 6 months to follow along what the Key Collector top 10 list looks like before there's any 6 month lookbacks, because the Key Collector top 10 list is only 2 weeks old, unless it was in the app only and I missed it before Comic Tom made a video. My understanding is that there's only been 2 Key Collector top 10 lists to date, right? Is that accurate or inaccurate?
Well, Tom's only done it twice. Like Key Collector's been putting out a top 20 for a while now.
Oh, so it is theoretically possible, but they don't.
That goes back a ways.
But they don't publish.
Now that
right, but they don't keep an archive of their old list on the Key Collector app. Like you can't go into the Key Collector app and be like, "What was their top 20 list 3 months ago?"
No, it really has to be Tom's video.
Tom's video is your archive reference for it.
They go with the new list. It's basically, if I'm not writing it down and keeping it for 6 months, I got to go back to the video. And hey, Chad, what's going on? YouTube is 90. Do you feel like I still have some lag or something? But and I think Comics for Blame is making a good point. Is to stick with Tom. That was the channel kind of that made me find it. I do think there's some differences in the list, and I think it's just really up to people whether or not they care. From what just reading and what's going on is the CBSI list is almost completely driven by value change. Like, did the cost of that book go up or not in terms of the hot? Occasionally they do a little bit on number of sales, but mostly it's value. The key collector is very much, there's books on his list that are just there because more are listed on eBay than had been, or more sales occurred, whether the value went up at all or even changed. So there is like a difference there that I don't know if people care about or not, but there is definitely, that's why there is some difference in the list, is he doesn't just look at value. He's almost specking on the list a little bit more than like CBSI does, if that makes any sense. He's like, oh, suddenly people are listing this, something might happen with this book. Is a little bit of the perspective that he's taking with his top 20, and therefore that carries into the list that Tom's doing. 90 says something about
what Bueller's saying. What Bueller's saying.
Oh, yes, congrats to Chad on that is awesome.
What?
I can tell you there's so much more data behind the key collector
that's
list
pretty
than
interesting.
CBSI, and that's because of the involvement. I would guess that's the truth, Bueller, because it does seem like the CBSI list is maybe one or two guys at the most, and that key collector seems to be taking information from a larger group because he's pulling in more information. He's actually giving you percentage of listings and percentage of sales, and he does appear to be doing more detailed work to come up with his list than CBSI does. They really appear to be just looking at did the value, did it sell for $10 more than it did the week before? See, you've had a bunch of people jump in here. Kingdom Comics jumped in. We already said hello to Chad.
Bake,
what's going on, Bake? I thought you were watching SummerSlam, man. So
he's probably trying to multitask at the moment.
That's right. Well, I appreciate that. So I think I know where everybody's going to fall on this. I think I kind of know where I fall. It does make it a little tougher because I have to go back and watch all of Tom's videos again, and then I got to do a little more work because it's pretty easy just to go to the CBSI list and go, oh, these are the 6 I want to eat. These are the 10 books I need, and grab thumbnails and be done with it. But it's not that big a deal. So we got the pay-per-view short. Oh my goodness, that must have been a party then. Hey, Thomas Wayne.
Take care of your friend, man.
Why is I do get like my internet is still acting funny because like I click on somebody's comment and then nothing happens. I'm going to shut this down. I don't really need the iPad. Let's get rid of that. Maybe that'll help.
My lag was being caused by.
So that's just kind of my perspective on things. I think. I do think it's interesting, but I think for this community, more people are going to care about what Tom's talking about than what CBSI is talking about. That's just, I think that goes without saying. I think he had.
You froze up on me. I don't know.
Did I just lose everybody?
Well, you froze for like half a second.
You're still there for me. Are we still? Someone say something in the chat.
I'm seeing chat. I'm seeing stuff.
Okay.
It still says live for me.
All right. It's just like, we'll see how long this lasts. My internet is acting really strange today.
I agree with what Bueller's saying, though, about both lists. I mean, it's better than not having anything, you know what I mean, to reference.
Yeah, I think they're fun. I think it's interesting. I do think it'll be a little different perspective than what I've been giving so far because by looking at the Key Collector app, because it's not necessarily, some of these books actually that they're saying are hot, haven't really increased in value. So it won't just be about the cost of the book go up or down.
It's also interesting when you see like Silver Age or Golden Age books making these lists more so on the CBSI side. I'm not sure about the Key Collector one because I don't follow that one. Outside of the 2 Comic Tom videos that currently exist, I haven't really followed the Key Collector top 10 or top 20 in the app that often. Like I use the Key Collector app to look up specific books when I want to look up some facts about a book, or I go to my comic shop to do it. But I don't really look at their all their different categories that they have on the app on like a regular basis.
I don't either. I've had the app basically since it came out, but I really don't use it very much because I don't spec very hard and I don't, you know, I just don't use it that much. Chad mentions that he is someone who did follow the CBSI list before Tom was doing his videos. So I'm curious what Chad thinks, whether or not what he like. What is your perspective on Chad? Should I stick with Tom or should I stick with CBSI? I think most people are thinking Tom, but I'm curious why you would want me to stick with CBSI if that's the case.
I mean, I could see a reasoning for sticking with CBSI just for the, I guess, the consistency of the series of video content that you are producing. You know what I mean?
Right.
From that standpoint, like you've already established a portfolio of videos where you're taking a 6-month look back at a specific list, that list being the CBSI top 10. And it's not like the CBSI top 10 is going away. It's still available to you. It's different video creators presenting it to the YouTube community, but the list has always been published and available outside of that video. It's a lot easier to reference than Key Collector. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm not sure to what degree the Key Collector website has that list easily available. Like, is it available outside of like a login? Like, do you need to be logged in to Key Collector's website to be able to see the list, or can you actually like send a link around to the Key Collector list? There's a public link available.
You know, I've like for CBSI, I watch all the Tom's videos, but doing that list, I haven't been going back and rewatching his videos. I've just been going to the list from that date.
Right.
Yeah, because it's on their website. It's stored.
Yeah, because you don't need to sit through a 20-minute video just to do your side of it.
So I just go back there and pull, and they have all the thumbnails. I pull the thumbnails off their website that I use. It's very easy for me to stick with CBSI. Comics for Blaine, so setting aside what the audience wants, what do you want? I want what the audience wants. I want to give you guys the information that you're most interested in. At least that's my perspective on it. Maybe that's a cop-out, but that's the whole reason I do it at this point, because to me, I feel like for the most part, I've learned my lesson from watching the list, but there's always new people that are subscribing to me that really are interested each week. So I want to give you guys the information that you want. Let's see. I bought books off their list. I first came into some spikes. I think both their specs suck.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree because I don't. I don't buy books that get hot or whatever or any of that stuff.
So 90 says that the list was only for CBSI was only once a month until Tom took over. That makes sense because they have them numbered, and the number is pretty low for like the number of times they've actually put out the list. Like lower than you would think if they'd been doing it weekly for very long. So let's see. What else have we got in the chat going on? There's exactly what then do both, show no bias. The problem is I don't know that I have time to do both. It's just it takes a lot of work.
Why don't you do the top 5 for CBSI and the top 5 for Key Collector, assuming there might be some overlap there, like there might be some of the same picks.
I mean, you could look at the list, and I could I could do both lists, but I would have to cut back the amount of information I did on each book. I'd have to be more like some books I'd almost just have to ignore. I'd almost have to pick and choose a little bit to have time.
That could get messy though. I mean, you'd have to like re-explain it.
So it's just a little bit of yeah. Yeah, that's true because you do have to then like say why you're doing it, what you're doing, and that makes it a little bit hard.
Yeah.
Well, and, and I'm not necessarily like I said, I got 6 months. It's just I was curious what people thought, where people were sitting on this.
I personally lean towards.
My hunch was it was going to be overwhelmingly Tom, but I didn't know for sure. And like I said, we got time to kind of figure it out.
I mean, I'm only answering this if it were me. Like if I had to record and edit a video each week, I would probably stick with CBSI because.
Oh, I'm losing you, Kavi. Is it everybody else here at NYC? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Hello. Am I here? Can you hear me? I'm hearing myself, but I'm not hearing you. Hello? Am I here? All right. Well, I guess they can hear me. All right. So, what was I saying? I lost the plot on where I was. I think JP.
Yeah, I got you. Like, well, I'm not talking at the moment, but you were like cutting in and out, at least on my end. I don't know if everybody else is hearing.
I was just basically saying, if I put myself in your shoes.
Oh.
Record and edit a video. Oh, it's me now. I think it's happening. I don't see JP in the screen there, so I don't know what is just happening.
Can you guys see me again?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I've been having internet issues today. I don't know what's going on. Like earlier I did a test and like my download was like 60 something and my upload was nothing. So
All right. So I was gonna start saying, if I put myself in your shoes and I have to record and edit and release and promote a video each week on this subject, I would probably personally lean towards sticking with CBSI because you have, how many months have you been doing this? You've been doing it 4 or 5 months so far?
6 months.
6 months.
Well, almost 7 now.
So you've already been doing it for 6 or 7 months. You know you're going to be doing it for another 6 months because Key Collectors Weekly has not been available for that long. So if you think about it, in 6 months from now, you'll have a year's worth of YouTube search optimization around CBSI top 10. So like you have no, like it's like, that's crazy. It's crazy how much that like search optimization and metadata and all that stuff on YouTube actually translates to views and subscribers. So just from that perspective, that pure like YouTube science perspective, like sticking with CBSI might be a smarter move. You know, because if you're talking about then abandoning that year's worth of content and not having fresh content with the same title and the same metadata, that will probably stunt your growth a little bit, and you'll have to basically restart using a different title on a different top 10 list. That said, if you ask me which one I'm going to watch the video for each week as a YouTube comic community member, I'll probably try to watch both, but if I can only watch one, I'd probably only watch the Comic Tom one, just because I'm used to watching it. You know what I mean? Like it's part of my like routine on YouTube on a weekly basis is to watch that video some point on Friday nights. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I'm necessarily going to come up with the answer today. I think definitely need to think about it. Dealers suggest rotating. I've seen some suggest do 5 from each. I do think that gets complicated for people trying to figure out what I'm doing, but I think there's a way to not necessarily maximize is probably not the right word, but to make this work in a way that works for the most people. Yeah, it will be weird to like walk away because it will literally be a year.
It'll be
I would have been doing the CBSI list
before
I switch.
That's 50 some odd videos that we're talking about, you know.
Let's see. Comparison idea is a good idea. And that's not a bad idea. You do then like kind of miss some weeks, but I mean, there's going to be new book. I mean, some of the books overlap. The 2 weeks they've done it, some of the books have overlapped, just not all of them. So it's not going to be that different of a list. It would be interesting. Yeah, I may have to think about maybe doing something even in the run-up of like looking at the list and the current list and seeing like number of overlapping books and that kind of thing, just to kind of see where they're at.
Perry's volunteering to take the Key Collector list off your plate. So,
well, that's the other option is somebody could fill the other side of the gap, because Perry's starting to do like the 12-month thing at one point, and then he kind of didn't, and I think he did 1 or 2, and then he dropped the 2, he dropped it and started doing like his other 3,700 videos that Perry does a week.
Yeah.
So, since he doesn't sleep, he can probably add that one more video. It's no big deal.
Right. Just in between Lurkin and his late night show. I don't know which one is which anymore. The late night show, the Lurkin show. What happens when he has a late night show and a Lurkin show on the same night? Like which one?
I think he lurks his own show.
I don't know anymore.
Hey Jojo, thanks for joining us.
Hey, popped up.
That might be the way to go. Let's see. Anybody else? Ancient Mariner. I don't know that I've seen Ancient Mariner before.
I don't think I have either.
We're paying big bucks for nuts.
Is that the Red Guardian thing?
Oh, the Red Guardian thing. Yeah, I think that is correct.
Harry's.
So the question is now, why do you watch the top 10 list? Was it for the list or for Tom? Both. I like Tom's personality. I enjoy listening to him talk about it, and then I was interested in the list. It always something I
have a curiosity about what's in the list, but the reason I watch the video is for entertainment value for Tom, for Russ, for occasionally the other people that show up on that video or on their channel. But I don't necessarily use the list for any strategic buying reasons.
I don't either. I think it's just fun to see what's going on. Tim says I just make my own list and go from there. So Perry says he'd be willing to do the key collector, and he and I might have to talk about that. Maybe we could we got 6 months to figure something out. Maybe we could work something out where we kind of go together to get them both done, kind of thing. And like I said, Tom's technically only picking 10 from the 20. So there's technically already 20 books there. So it's 30 books you could really look at. But
is it the top 10, or is that list not in any particular order?
Key Collector doesn't put them in any order, I don't think. I think it's just a list of 20 hot books.
So to some degree, the new version of the Comic Tom 101 weekly hot 10 list is curated within a list of 20. So it's a curated list of 10 within a list of 20. So that adds more variables to what you're being presented with, technically. Whereas CBSI just being a flat 10, reliable 10, if you will. I mean, I'm not talking trash or anything.
Yeah.
But seems to be it's a little bit more consistent.
Tacoma made a great point. I might have missed it. I think they're using mostly data off of eBay, Tacoma. As my understanding is they're mostly using eBay data. And sales, although I think they use some other websites probably as well, but I think most of it's just eBay data. Let's see, make a fake top 10 list. Even apply for number 1, see how the market reacts. See, that I don't want to do, but so let's see. Rag, what did Rag say? Tom had a top 10 on Lockdown, no doubt. I'm trying to keep up with the
All right, since my YouTube handle is CBNYC, Comic Books NYC. Why don't we just I'll do the list. Fuck it.
You just do your own list?
Yeah. CBNYC top 10 list.
So Tacoma asks, aren't they all similar? And I talked about this a little bit earlier, Tacoma, and it's basically, from what I can tell, and Bueller probably knows better because he's actually talked to Tom, and Tom's talked to what is the guy's name at Key Collector?
Nick.
And what I get is that CBSI, the guys over there, are just using value changes to come up with their list for the most part. Because sometimes books hit the list and they sold 1 copy, and it was just way higher than what it was before.
Yeah.
And then Key Collector seems to be using not just value, but also how many were listed, how many were sold, even if the value didn't change. And using that information.
Yeah, they're also using what people are asking now for.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So they're using so Key Collector does appear to be doing more in-depth research to get to their list, but they're also kind of specking on these books just based on the fact that hey, suddenly 30, there was 2 listed and now 37 are listed on eBay. Something must be hot with this book. So doesn't necessarily mean they're going to sell. Like, so there's a little bit of a give and take there.
What if a panel of YouTubers, a third-party panel of YouTubers, myself, Perry, and 3 others to be named later, sub-curate the 2 different lists and give you the books that you
give the books to look back on.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot of work.
The more work, the better. Yeah, I don't know. The more and more I think about it, the easier it is to just stick to CBSI, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's the right answer.
Yeah, I know, but it's not just easier. I think it actually makes more sense from like just a content standpoint.
Yeah. So I want to try to shout out the chat again. I know I've missed a bunch of you guys have come in. Rag718 dropped in. I think I even pulled up his comment. I mentioned H and Mariner. D Runk just dropped in. Sam I Am. I don't remember if I mentioned Sam I Am. If you haven't watched, he dropped a great entry into John's contest this morning.
Sam I Am's contest entry to John's Comics with Kids 700 subscriber thing that he dropped today was like my nerd like fantasy come true. Dude starts the story off with me and says that I get the keys to the Millennium Falcon and then I get to go pick up all of my YouTube comic book buddies. Like, dude, he killed it on that. That was fantastic.
Oh, I told him, like, I left the comment because he said that, like, he gave me the Batmobile, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I was literally thinking to myself, which Batmobile? And he goes, and I'm like, I want them all. And then he goes, you get them all. And I was like, yes. So it was.
Yeah, dude, he killed it with that. And I think he's going to be at Boston Comic Con this weekend, so I hope to say hey to him because I'm going to be up there.
You guys can definitely hook up.
Tacoma is saying the Millennium Falcon doesn't have keys. That's what you think.
Come on, Tacoma. So here's Comics for Blame. Your audience probably doesn't care what's more convenient, and that's probably the truth. Well, you guys want it to be easy for me? What the heck?
Well, let's be real. Like if it becomes inconvenient for you, you may stop doing it. Like, this stuff should be fun too.
Yeah,
it shouldn't just feel like work,
So, I'm gonna watch both, see how close the lists are. I think that's something I may do between now and then is really start like tracking how different the books are each week.
Yeah, I mean, you have 6 months of runway to make this decision.
Yeah, I have some time to kind of figure that out, and I think, like I said, I know Perry has interest in this, and maybe some other people, and maybe we'll figure something out. We'll make it work. I just wanted to get kind of everybody's opinion tonight, which I really appreciate. The chat has been moving, like,
yeah, for sure.
And most of it has been related to the topic, and not just people mocking Perry and lurking in the bushes and his swamp ass and stuff. So I really appreciate that there's been like a really good discussion.
Unlike the show we did like an hour and a half ago where that was like the whole thing. That was like the whole chat.
So I found paint and brushes. Oh man. Oh no, Perry's taking up another hobby.
Oh my God.
How is that possible, Perry? I mean, literally. So, I mean, the man has to sleep like 15 minutes a day. It's the only thing I can come up with. So, anybody got any other thoughts? Like I said, I think at this point, I don't know for sure what I'll do. It seems to me like most people lean towards sticking with Tom, but there's a lot of people that would like to see both. I don't know how I would do that the best. I just don't know that I'd have time to give them what I would like to give them in terms of research to do both. I think I'm going to start by just tracking how different are the lists. I mean, if you're talking it's like 13 books a week instead of 10, then maybe it's not that big a deal. If it's consistently 20, then it becomes a little tougher. And I also want to track, like, because Tom's picking and choosing from a list of 20.
Yeah.
Are the 10 CBSI books all in the key collector list.
And that's the part that kind of concerns me a little bit, because, you know, if Key Collector is presenting it as 20 books in no particular order, and then Comic Tom is taking those 20, sub-curating 10, and presenting an order, that's not the same thing as the process CBSI is going through to get to their top 10, literally in a ranking. 10, 9.
Yeah, but I think even their top 10 is a little bit arbitrary.
Yeah, I'm not saying any of this stuff is perfect. I'm just saying what I know, you know. And
maybe do a show with Perry. You can cover CBSI and you can do Key Collector. Yeah, and that may be where we end up going. Is like he and I just kind of split the two lists or something like that. I'm not opposed to that. So I think we'll just talk about it and see where we want to go.
Yeah, I mean, you got plenty of time. I mean, you're stuck with CBSI for at least 5 months and 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, you know, or stuck, whatever.
You wish I would give more oomph on the books that have held or even gone up in value since the list. So what do you want me to, like...
Extra oomph.
Extra oomph. Stereotype all the comics on the list go down. Well, I don't try to do that. I know that's probably the perception is I'm the guy that hates on the list. I love the list. So it's like...
Right, you're just taking a look back at it. That's not positive or negative. That's just
that's you know. So it becomes I did it from a place of I wanted to understand what I was really seeing when I saw the list, what it really meant for a book to hit the list. And the cat has made an appearance, as she's known to do, and it wasn't really ever about, for me, like crapping on the list. And I think Bueller says it best. I think everybody, like, from an information standpoint of understanding what's going on in comic books and sales and what's selling and what's not at any given time, I think you want to watch both. Or if you don't like Simple Man's videos, I haven't really watched much of his stuff. So I can't really say whether he's good or not. The list is on their website and easy to find. It's a lot easier to find than the Key Collector list on his. And I don't know if you have a subscription, which I don't. Then you can look at back.
Yeah, so I have a subscription, but it's gated by a login, which is gated by a subscription price. You know what I mean?
Right.
To use the website. That was my concern with the Key Collector app, is that it's not published in a written format that's widely available.
Okay.
Whereas the CBSI list is published in a written format that is widely available. It doesn't require you to watch a 20-minute video. You know? So, I don't know.
I don't know where.
Not sure what that means.
Thank you, Bake. I try to be like, that's my goal. Is not to be negative. It's to just be like information. Give information and let you guys run with it how you want. So Bake is complimenting Brian. I've just never really watched this stuff. I need to. I should probably watch.
I like that. I like their channel.
Yeah, I just haven't. I have a hard time watching like the few channels that I really try to watch religiously, and then there's so many other good stuff, and it's like I'm always behind on my YouTube watching.
There's so many channels and videos to watch. It's crazy.
So, well, I think we've about beat this dead horse tonight, at least.
Probably right.
I think we got some good ideas about where we can go from here, and so I don't know that I have anything else really to talk about this week. I've already done I've been on vacation. I've showed all my books. I've been doing collection videos.
Yeah, you've been wasting no time.
Yeah, I've just been pumping I've put more videos out this week than I have probably in any month almost.
Yeah.
It's been ridiculous.
Well, congrats again on we're hitting 400.
Thank you, sir. I did hit 400. Don't think I'm going to do a contest just yet because I'm not really prepared to do one.
I hit 400 and I haven't launched a contest yet, and now I'm at 440 almost, and it's like, do I now wait for 450 or 500? It's like I don't know what to do with these contests, but I'll roll out a contest eventually too. But.
Sam talks about the hot and cold list that they've started doing. I've watched that a little bit. I do think that's kind of a cool thing. I don't want my channel to be a whole bunch of breaking down CBSI lists, but it is kind of a fun, interesting list that if you haven't checked it out, you probably should if you're interested in that kind of thing. Let's see. And the Bolo dude can really talk. Yeah. So I think they did some good stuff. And yeah, I don't remember where I was going. Okay. So yeah, I hit 400 today thanks to Rod, which he has not actually showed up in this chat, which I'm a little surprised. He might be on the auction or something. I know there's an auction, so I super appreciate you guys.
I'm going to head over there after this.
I'm going to head over there as soon as we get off of here. I super appreciate everybody joining. A couple things. Well, first, Kavi, you got anything coming up you want to talk about before I give my couple of things coming?
No, I'll probably be on YouTube here and there. And I'm going to be at Boston Comic Con, like I said, next weekend. So hopefully I can catch a few peeps there. Sam I Am Comics, Comic Head 84, maybe a few others. I'm not sure who else from the YouTube comic community is going to that one, but I'll find out. And then on the 26th, right? 26th of August,
Yes.
on my channel, where is the next episode of Gotham City Chronicles, which is, of course, with me and JP, Budget Collecting. And our special guest for this episode is going to be Bear Island Comics. We're going to be going over Black Mirror. So that is Scott Snyder and Jock, Detective Comics, 871 to 881, I believe. So that is the Batman story we'll be going over this time. And then, of course, every Sunday night, mostly unless traveling or schedules mess things up, got the direct edition squad with myself, Bake the Snake, Jeffrey Comic-Con Henson, Soldier Only, Fuchsia Only on the direct edition squad channel, Sunday nights. So, of which you graciously guested today when I was all alone with none of my squad, but what are you going to do?
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, and maybe I'll get around to launching a 400 or 450 subscriber contest on my own channel.
Yeah, I'm probably going to wait to 5. Or maybe 6. I need to do something sooner. So, stuff I have coming up tomorrow night at 10 Eastern is going to be the next episode of Collecting Smart. We haven't done one for a while. The boy who had 7, as always, will be co-hosting with me. But our guest tomorrow will be TJ, the Slab Dragon Watson, and Metarog. And we're going to be talking about to slab or not to slab. Not any particular book, just as a philosophy as a collector, and what would you slab and not.
I wonder what TJ's opinion is.
TJ might have a very defined opinion on this, but we thought, Metarog's kind of on the other end of the scale. We thought it might be a discussion. So
it's a good balance right there.
Yeah. So, so that'll be tomorrow night. At some point this week, I still got to finish editing it. I have a new series that I'm going to launch probably with a premiere maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not going to say any more about it. I may say a little more about it tomorrow night right now, but I have a new series I'm coming out with. We'll see what you guys think and whether or not you like it. And then next Saturday will be another Hot Top 10 list. I will look back at the 6 months ago list and see where the books are at. So for now, I don't have to make any adjustments, so I'm not going to just yet. So, but I do think starting to do a little research on the actual difference in the list will be helpful in making the ultimate decision. So with that, I'm going to call it a night. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thanks, Kavi, for joining me, and we will talk to you later.
Peace.
If I can get... I got crap in the way.
I love this post-chat
something weird just happened.
I love this post-chat banner when we're trying to close things up.
I haven't ended the stream yet because there was a pop-up in front of the in broadcast, so we're still going.